Hello, welcome back to, oh no, what episode are we on? 16?
17.
17. Oh no, I'm losing track of them now. There's so many. This week, there are no questions. Instead, we're going to, well, first I should mention actually, we're down 2 players. We usually don't continue with two, but just to keep things flowing because there's been a lot of time off generally from me. I want to kind of keep the story going. So we're going to be without a Carl and a Ben this week. Hopefully they'll join us next week. And this week there is no question. Instead, from Daryl's magnificent mansion that he created, which was more of a ski lodge.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's called the Lodge. That's what he's going to call it from now on. It's the Lodge.
The Lodge. Okay, perfect. So within the Lodge, each player has their own bedrooms, which has been described as a place that befits them individually. So we're gonna describe those rooms, and I'm gonna start with Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom. I'm playing Raphy Matthews. So Raphy's room is a little bit eclectic because he comes from like a very rich family. He knows that quality is important. So the things in his room are like the highest quality he can afford or he's inherited. But he's also got some bits which come from his mother's influence, with her being a hippie. So several well-stocked bookshelves, comfy chair. But next to that, you've got a cello, and then one of the instruments which are more on the hip side, which is a hand-pan. You know, the two semicircles of steel put together, and then you just tap it with your hands. Yeah, he's got some tie-dye stuff, but he's also got some like classical prints of paintings and stuff on his wall. So it's a little bit of a mixture of both. And that's it.
Nice. I love it. Let's go with Andy.
Okay, just to check on this, this is how Berin would like his room rather than Daryl's thoughts on what Berin's room would look like, correct?
The way he slightly amended the spell, the way the spell works, it's a room, but it's actually attuned to you. So this is not what Daryl doesn't know. What will be in your room? Only you know that.
Okay, so this is quite similar to the room that Berin had at the hotel, and I forgot the name of the hotel. Is it just called the hotel?
It's just the hotel.
It's just called the hotel. That's it. Yep,
so
the lodge and the hotel.
Yeah. We're wonderful at creating names. Right, so it's quite a simple room. I think because this is somewhere that he will come back more frequently than the hotel. It's got a few more comforts in, but it's almost like where you would imagine a monk's room in a monastery or something to be. It's quite simple. There's quite a simple bed, wardrobe, chest of drawers, ensuite bathroom that's quite simple. And so it's not particularly flash. It's quite simple. There will be a bookshelf for books with history books on it. I mean, as in proper academic history books. But I imagine they're all books that Berin has read, because the place won't produce books that he's not read. So it's occasional books that he might occasionally flick at. A lot about sort of history going through the ages, from all sort of European, North African history from quite far back, and so it's quite simple. Yeah.
Nice. We love it. Ben.
Well, stepping into Liam's room, you wouldn't think it was a room at all because it actually isn't. It's a clearing in some woods. It's a clear sky, full moon. There's a hammock hung between two trees. There's a fire going that's obviously because it's magic permanently going. There's a trunk the one side of the clearing with his stuff in. There's a table that's got an assortment of single malt Irish whiskies on it, and there's off to one side in the distance there's a target range. There's a target on a tree for him practicing, and it's completely open so he can run and
not to piss on your bonfire particularly. There is a limit to the size of this
but I was thinking, as it's magic, it's probably something like the holosuite in Star Trek.
Yeah, it just comes back round and
it's your perception of what's going on.
Yeah, although it's a certain size, you could be running and think that you're running straight, but you're actually running in circles.
I'm happy. Bee's happy with that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. It's magic. Like, it doesn't change anything mechanically. It's not going to give any benefits other than distance.
And
it's all good for me.
Obviously, it's always mild in there, like kind of a summer's night.
That sounds actually like the best room. Like a perfect camping experience.
Yeah, exactly.
What does Daryl's room look like? I think we had a small description of Daryl's room before.
I think all I said that the doors are monogrammed.
Sorry, apologies.
K on the other. He's the only one. His room obviously got double doors. It's slightly larger than the others, only because it's his spell. But when you walk in there, you find it's like a comfortable living room. There's quite a lot of furniture there. It's all fairly old and worn, but it all looks comfortable. It's sort of a couple of armchairs and stuff like that. There are, again, like others, bookshelves around all the walls, but these tend to be around Fey lore and human lore and all the bits in between. There is actually a particular section on Arthurian legends. It sort of pride of place in his bookshelves. The centerpiece of the whole room is a fireplace with a long mantle. In the middle of the mantelpiece is an antique timepiece, a clock that just ticks the hours away. It's the identical one to the one that's in Sir Francis' drawing room. There's 3 photographs on the mantle. The one on the left, the far left, is Summer, as you have now seen her. The 2 on the right, there's one. It's a dated photograph of what looks like it's actually marked on there. It's the 1901 Oxford boat race team.
Want me to share?
Yeah, if you could. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. This is the picture that you'll see in that room.
Next to that is another photograph of an average-looking man with a handlebar moustache, with his arm around a much younger version of Daryl. The astute amongst you will recognise the man in the photograph of Daryl as the man who is second from the left in the Oxford boating race team. He doesn't look much older, in fairness.
Sorry, just to be clear, the man who suspiciously got his hands in his pockets.
Yes.
They've got all of them have their hands in their pockets. But yeah.
Only I would think of that, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. They are the same person as far as you can tell. What else is there on this room? Not a lot. There's no bed. But one of the armchairs is pulled up to the fireplace, and beside it there's a blanket folded on the floor. This is clearly where Daryl sleeps. He doesn't sleep in a bed in this room. And finally, above the mantelpiece, there is a picture of a sunlit summer meadow. And as you look at it, you see the grasses and the trees sway in the breeze. Not you can feel the breeze, but you can see them swaying in the breeze. And that's his room.
I expected there to be a double bed in there with a bedstand one side marked summer
No. Certainly not.
Way too risky.
Way too risky. She's got a double-edged blade, that woman. So
clearly, I now want to know as a player. I want to know how old Daryl actually is.
Yeah, see.
That was quite open about you. I think he is actually mid-30s.
302.
He's mid-30s, and he purports to be mid-30s. It's not him who is out of age.
Yes. It's the gentleman in the rowing picture that is ageless, it would seem.
Sorry, the other thing about that is that you see underneath that person on the legend of the photograph, it's F.O.J. Huntley.
Ian just fully stealing someone's identity. But it's fairly simple to put together that this would be. I believe the name has already been said, hasn't it, in full?
Yes, Sir Francis Huntley.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sir Francis Huntley.
Yeah. So Sir Francis, sorry, we have met Sir Francis yet, have we?
You haven't, no.
No. You certainly have not. Do you want me to share the individual photo?
Yeah, you can do. It's just a little bit clearer.
Yeah, might as well. Just because people would have then now seen this picture. There you go. So obviously this is just the cropped version. We don't want to translate that to a drawn picture, or because this is the image that we're using. Yes, perfect. Wunderbar. And obviously,
picture of him with his hand around summer.
No, because unfortunately, when you're using pictures of real people, we have to do something quite beyond us. It's using your imagination.
I haven't got an imagination.
Yeah, me neither.
Sir Francis Huntley didn't have his arm around Summer. He had his arm around Daryl.
Oh, okay.
Daryl, yeah. A slightly younger version of Daryl as well, I think. So, but yes. Previously, on our last episode, our players had completed, their objective within Caer Sidi. They have, at the end of the session, just left. Brief overview: they'd killed Efnician, taken the spoils from the ruins there. A meeting with Gwydion and Morwood. A slight twist on what I was expecting was going to happen, but it worked out really well. Gwydion was uncursed and then zipped off to Tir na Nog once he had been tied into the ley lines, obviously then leaving them again untethered. Notably without an explosive force. So whatever had happened previously was not simply a case of removing a particular element. Morwood then continued this ritual to replace the circle spirit for herself as the only person left then to do it. An evening was spent in Daryl's newly crafted magnificent mansion, which is named the Lodge. As our players have just described their individual bedrooms, we'll hear what Cadman's and Hendrix's respective bedrooms look like the next time they're on, because I'm quite curious.
They should write it up in the comments.
They should. They could do, actually. I suppose it saves them. I imagine that Hendrix is just going to be a dog park. Actually, no. He's a complex character. He's got other things going on. So,
it's going to be a butcher's shop or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah, just sausages. It's going to be a McDonald's.
back of a butcher's.
Or the bin behind a McDonald's.
Yeah, okay. It's all the same to him. And then our players made it to, with the help of Morwood, leaving Caer Sidi. You had left Morwood and the two Fey charges of Morwood behind with the task of finding body of Jack Sinclair. Who obviously you decided to leave to them. They said they will contact you once they have found him and bring him out into the mundane realm and contact you. And you guys were transported back through the ritual site at the base of the dolmen, and you entered back into this cave. As a description, you step into this dark and cold, damp cave, exactly how you remembered it. Notably still empty, as similar to when you first arrived. But it is dark. So can I have people with dark vision to make me perception checks? And unless somebody, sorry, Tom. And then if somebody is going to light a light, let me know. Or you can just make your way to the mouth of this cave out into the open. I believe. I believe when you left, it was nighttime. Sorry, no, it was daytime in Caer Sidi, so it's now nighttime here.
Yeah, I'm going to fish in my chest bag for a headlamp again.
Okay.
Did we know that we were going back into darkness?
I think
no, there wasn't like some torches or something, like ever burning torches in the cave or something.
There was ever burning torches at the entrance of the cave. Well, actually, no, you're right. I think there. Oh no, I don't know. I don't think it matters, to be honest.
I think there were ever burning torches in the by the ritual site, but not by the entrance, because that would have been visible to people approaching outside.
So the front of the cave, like mundane people can't see the cave at all.
Oh, of course, that was
so that front entrance completely obscured to them through the days and through other veiling powers potentially, but you guys could see it quite clearly. Your guide that had brought you to the cave wasn't aware there was a cave there. They just brought you to a set of coordinates and kind of gone, well, this is my job to lead you here. I'm going to head back now. I'm going to say it's dark, and it was lit last time, but it is now dark.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to think whether I would have
put my expecting.
So we were or weren't?
You weren't expecting. If you were, okay. if we're going with there was light, there's now not light. You weren't prepared. So, okay. But Raphy takes out his headlamp, which means that you have some visibility. Everybody can roll perception checks. Ken, you can do yours with advantage for smell based.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
So shall I roll again then?
Yes. Pretty good. Okay. I think Raphy kind of sees quite a bit. To Daryl and Baron, you look around, you can see that it's still very dark in here. You can't really make a great deal out. You're looking towards the entrance into the cave. It's a little bit further up, but you can see the small bit of light from the light sources that would be just outside the cave, which sort of indicates a direction you need to go. Liam, you kind of have a look around. Your eyes are catching certain outlines of things, but the smell actually is the thing that really catches your attention. There's something quite sharp, not blood. That's the thing that kind of makes you a bit curious about what this is. It's not blood, but it is more like a sulphurous.
Okay.
And then Raphy, your headlamp just happens to be pointing in the right directions. You start looking around. You can see immediately the altar in which you'd placed the item when you'd first come, the pair of boots, I believe it was.
Yep.
Has been cracked in the center of it, and looks like the stone slab that sits on the front has been crumpled in on itself. Whatever had struck it or broken it had done so with such a force, it like crumpled in this solid stone piece. There is bits of debris around, and as you just scan over things, you start to notice ridges over certain areas that are not the same as the what would you describe it as? A cave wall isn't smooth generally. Has lots of crevices and bumps and lumps in it, but you see ridges of what look to be claw marks along the side of parts of the walls, just
Would
sort of in this area.
sulfur mean anything to me? The smell of sulfur, or
Sulfur indicates a lot of things.
Yeah. Would I know
first
any of
thing that
them?
might-
Would I be aware of any of them, or not really?
I think the first things that kind of spring to mind is fiends.
Yes, that's what Ken knows, but does
Yeah.
Liam know?
Make me a nature check.
Just while
Yeah,
Ken's
nature.
rolling that, Baron's going to use his divine sense.
Yeah, sure.
Any form of celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
So usual suspects amongst your party, but nothing else.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Liam.
Sorry, just to be clear, Liam is turning up as undead, not as fiend, isn't he?
I don't know. No, no, I'm undead.
I'm going to make sure that everybody is aware of this, and I'm just going to say, do you think the stranger did this when he was broken away from his job role?
No, I think someone's killed the stranger and done this.
That's my thinking too. I can smell sulfur.
You, other than fiends, you can't think of anything else.
Oh, fuck.
Sounds like some sort of fiend. No, I wouldn't. I don't know that, do I? Because I roll crap on my roll.
No, you can know fiends offhand because I think everyone assumes fiends, but you can't. Because not all fiends smell like sulfur either. So the nature check was to see whether you could narrow it down, which you can't. But you can say fiends, and it still might not be fiends.
Can I have an attempt?
There's other things that cause that. Because he's mentioned it, everybody else can have a good old nature check, and try and think about what
fiend come in here, killed a stranger and crack that stone.
It's definitely nature, not history, then.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's electronics for you.
Yeah, it's not. I can't try religion. No.
Science and nature.
I'm desperately trying not to roll on my zero nature.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I rolled an 18.
Have to be pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Grab sled.
Do you know what?
You've encountered.
I'm going to hold up the hagstone.
Yeah, go for it. Whilst I describe this, Raphy holds up a stone
from around his neck, like a monocle.
As he's going around it. As he points it towards other people, you see his eye through it is sort of like shining a bright blue and white color, but only when you see it through the hagstone. And then you can do an investigation check for me, if actually with that.
Oh, investigation. Okay.
Yeah. They will just give you anything extra if there is anything. Yeah. Daryl, I think that you probably come to the same conclusion. Fiends, probably. Baron, you've encountered fiends. You know that not all of them smell like sulfur. A lot of them do. A lot of them have that sulfurous smell when they have breached into the world, because it's quite explosive sometimes. The ripping of the veil between two places can sometimes be quite a lot of energy from their side, so like pushing through, and that sulfur smell comes through. It can also happen when when a demon has taken control of a body. That sulfur smell really tends to linger at points, because it's like it's using a lot of energy to stay in control of a body. There are a couple of fae that could that do smell sulfurous, but they're a little bit more rarer. And I think that's all you get on the 18th.
Okay, so I should say to the others, it smells like fiend, but not all fiends smell of sulfur. It could indicate that some sort of fiend has ripped its way through to here, or it could indicate that a fiend has taken control of someone. And there are even some fae that smell of sulfur, but I doubt it is one of them. Actually, one further question for you, Bea. Does sulfur indicate demon or devil, or could it be either?
So in my game, fiends are cover demon and devils. So infernal and abyssal kind of very mixed, very similar languages, or separate languages, but like if you know one, then you have the roots to the other, sort of thing. I don't want to complicate it that far.
Okay,
so
it's fine.
Okay. I was going to go up to the claw marks on the wall, just put his hand up to try and judge the size of whatever it was that left those. Is it, when you say claw marks, is it like a claws on a hand, or is it just individual strikes in the wall?
Yeah. You do this. Raphy's sort of like looking over. As he's looking over, he sees your handprint over this this claw mark. You put your hand into it. You see that it would show like a wider human's hand, but not too much bigger than yours. So, but with claws, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
Showing that opposable thumb claw, you can kind of get that. Raphy, you don't get anything extra from the hagstone, but you do discover this. The amount of claw marks here is either it looks like it's probably made from 2 sets of hands.
Okay. There's could be more than one of the things here that destroyed the stranger. I
don't think there's anything immediately close to us at the moment. No, I think
I think it's old, as in when. Yeah.
Is there?
We'll need to work out.
It's probably waiting to kill us outside.
Do you know what? That's not a bad shout, actually.
Have you seen any sign of the stranger's body?
No.
Right.
Wouldn't have a body. It was incorporeal, wasn't it?
No, he had like a raincoat and a big hat on, like a fisherman's hat on.
Yeah, he looked like a person.
Yeah.
I will.
The only person that would know about the what would happen after he died is actually not here. So, but yeah, carry on.
I'm going to pull my phone out of my pocket and see if the system date and time is updated.
Yeah, you turn on your phone. At first, you get no reception. You're out in the middle of literal bumfuck nowhere. At some point, you point it towards the edge of the cave, and your phone does that flicker where that was a bar, and you get like a buzzing of some messages coming through. The first one seems to be from Sergeant Clemens, and it's hey mate, where are you? We need to chat. And the second one is a couple of hours later from Clements again. He says there's something going on. I need to talk to you about something. I've got to contact the person that you were going to go meet, because you told him, didn't you, who you were going to go meet? Because you asked about the Renwicks.
Yes. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. So he makes a indication that he's going to go check. And then the next message is from your boss. Several hours after that, and it says meeting ASAP. That's all it says. And you don't get anything else than that. Like, your phone's struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
If anybody else turns on their digitals, let me know.
So just quickly, when you say the boss, we're talking about Morty, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to step out of the cave first.
Sorry.
Okay,
have a look around, and so the true sight lasts for 10 minutes.
So to do an investigation outside, absolutely.
Yeah.
Andy?
I should say, has Raphy completely searched this cave? I'm not. It sounds like you have. It's not. There's no corners you've missed or anything like that. You're.
I haven't spent the 10 minutes. This is more of a quick thing with the true sight stuff, and actually having a.
I'd say with the size of this area, within the 10-minute investigation window that usually happens with that 17 investigation and using the hagstone, you can have done every corner of this bit, because it doesn't go anywhere. It just leads to this open space with the altar. There's a little bit further back, but not by much. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go further in or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
and you can go to the outside and investigate the outside too.
Yeah.
So there's no point in me searching inside further for the.
Not really, no.
For the body. Okay, right. Okay. In that case, I will go out with Raphy just in case there's something nasty outside.
Yeah. Another investigation. Again, well, do you know what? It's going to be more of a perception than investigation, because I'm not actively looking, and I want to keep it within the my time frame for the hagstone.
No worries. How long does your divine sense last, Andy? Is that a 6-second one and done, or is that a 10-minute jobby?
It's a 6-second one, I believe.
As an action until the end of your next turn. It's a
6 seconds. Okay.
But frankly, once I get outside, because we're concerned, I will use another divine sense when we get outside.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
60 feet.
Okie dokie. Liam, are you ensnaring anybody with that?
No, I'm just messing with transferring spells. I've just trying to work out. I've added a spell to my spell book in roll 20, and I'm just trying to work out why it's not showing in on the core sheet. But I guess that's just spellcasting attacks.
So you step outside. Raphy, you have a look around. The first thing you notice is that the moon is in waxing, I think is the term. Can't remember which way round it goes. It's half-ish.
Waxing is growing, waning is
Is
shrinking.
Wax on, wane off.
Yeah.
Wane. It's waning. It's
John
waning
Watts.
outside. You look up at the moon, you see it's waning. So last time you left here, it was full moon. You can imagine there is a certain amount of days that have passed. Daryl, your phone updates with the time and date. It is 8 days later. You, Raphy and Baron, as you stepped outside the cave, there is nothing out here. There is no, your senses go out for quite some ways. There is just you guys as far as you think, at least in terms of magical creatures. And then Raphy, your perception is quite high. The moonlight is like outlining certain parts. You can see the tide is going out at the moment, so it's fine to walk across to that stone staircase that goes up the cliff a little bit to lead you to where the lighthouse and the docks are. It's just a 20-minute walk, but you see there are some rocks at the bottom, and then an outline of something else at the bottom of the stairs. It seems to be on the ground that wasn't there before. But that is across from where you are. It's heading back the way you came.
Once they've stepped through after about 5 seconds or so after they've stepped through, I'll turn to Darren and goes, "Well, they've either died very quietly or there's nothing out there."
Yeah. Well, let's go and find out, shall we?
Why not?
Love it. You guys go out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
You join the others. Raphy, you can see what you can see.
Point out all that stuff and then go, shit, and switch my phone on.
You switch your phone on. Again, you have the similar issue. It's very little reception here. After a few minutes, it updates with the time, just about. You get a couple of notifications from different local clubs that have been putting on things. You start to get messages through as well. First message is from your mother, asking where you are, and then there's about 5 messages successively from your mother over the next 2 days from that point that are she panics easily, and you didn't reply, and it just gets progressively more panicked. You see she's going through the stages of grief almost. She's like, oh my god, you've died, and then it's all like, well, just let me know what's happened. Please answer me back. Please don't ignore, all this sort of stuff. A little bit overbearing, but she tends to fret and worry and jump to conclusions quite easily.
Yeah.
And you don't tend to leave her unread for very long.
Yeah.
There is you're going to have to get to higher ground to get more of those messages through. Or get to mainland.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk over to this lump that we saw.
Okay. You approach. You walk across the sands to this this outline just below the steps. You need to go up the steps anyway. And as you approach, you see what looks like a coat that has been ripped. And as you get much closer, you can see that it is a body.
I've seen quite a number of dead bodies.
Yep.
And How long has it been dead?
Okay.
Do you want a medicine check?
I do, please. You sort of start checking this person out.
I have no idea. It's a dead body.
You flip the person over. It is the woman that brought you to the cave.
It's not the. Okay, I thought it was going to the stranger. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that.
It looked like from the tears, very simply, you can see claw marks. That literally couldn't be anything else. She was slightly wedged between a couple of rocks. So when the tide had come in, it didn't wash her away, but it's washed a lot of any evidence away of anything else that could be useful to you. So there's no blood there any longer. She's a bit bloated, but not like horrendously so, because it's still cold weather, and two, she's been not gone for that long, it seems. Probably going to be less than a week, maybe.
Yeah, but no one's missed her in that time.
She lived in a. Get this right. She lived in a lighthouse on the island with her husband. Was that the?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was another person on the island. It was just them two. They worked for the NSPPC.
RSPB.
Thank you. They were studying puffins. So, yeah. Do you head on up, or do you take this body, or what do you do?
I'm going to wave at the others to come over.
Yep, you can come join you.
Can I have a look over the body, see if it was what's killed it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have a look.
You
may also do a. You can either do a medicine. That'll be one set of information, or you can do a survival check. Be a different set of information.
Oh God, wish I'd done that.
Well, you said medicine.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I think I'm more concerned with my getting a bit of privacy and trying to call my mum.
What would a survival check get? What kind of information would a survival check get as opposed to medicine?
Survival check is going to be something that is that will tell you what made the claw marks, whether the like the nature of
I go for survival
anything
check.
around like how it got here, whether it's like attacked her from above or something like that, something about the creature. Whereas the medicine check will tell you how long she's been dead for, how quickly she died. Maybe some other bits of information a bit gory, but yeah. So survival. All right. Immediately you can see these claw marks. I think high enough DC there that high enough score there for the DC rather. Again, this two sets of claws you can see has attacked this woman. Maybe two creatures have simultaneously attacked this woman. Make me just a straight intelligence check. It's bugging you. You feel like that's a big clue. That's something you've encountered, maybe. But it's two sets of claws. Kind of is at the back of your mind.
Okay. Are you sharing that information on the basis? Dale says when we got attacked by those things in the in Lord Renwick's study, they were clawed hands, weren't they? And I'm looking at Bevan because I think he was at the.
They had 4 hands, didn't they? Each. I was thinking that. I was thinking that, but then you did the look of the claws, and I didn't think their claws were that. I thought their claws were much bigger than a hand, than a human hand.
Baron
The
looks
ones
you.
that you thought sorry, Kev.
I say Baron looks at you and says, "Remind me, I can't remember."
So at the mention of those,
which is Andy bluffing for the fact that he can't remember.
Yeah. At the mention of those things, I'm going to spin and say, "What? Shit! I didn't think of those." Right? Okay.
Was that Marids or something?
The Marid was the big one.
It's the Efreet.
The smaller, they were like slightly larger than us. They weren't massive, but the Marid was.
Oh, okay.
Did we ever identify those things?
We assumed they were the Efreet of the Marid. That's what we assumed. Whatever it is, it was
because that starts to suggest that someone was trying to stop Lord Renwick's wife from being healed by trying to prevent us from returning.
Or they want what we've got, and they went there. Although I don't understand the coincidence, because that jar was brought here. All I'm saying is they went into her room and then came away, left her alive.
Right.
Which would suggest that they were after whatever we were bringing back to...
We can talk on the boat, unless we can get to Renwick's quicker.
We don't need a boat.
We don't need a boat.
Nope.
We can get to Renwick's quicker.
I could get us there pretty instantly.
Okay, but before we do that, well, no, before we do that,
let's go check this guy out of the lighthouse.
Right. I feel we have a duty to ensure the security of this place. So we need to do something with this body and with I'm going to presume that we're going to find her husband dead, because otherwise he would have been looking for her.
We have a slight issue. We got a boat here, so unless somebody else got a boat here and hides, a different boatman, we're going to be the last people that were seen coming here, even though that was 8 days ago or whatever it was. So, and nobody would remember us leaving either. Now, we don't have to worry about the cave from the mundane police, because the Daze hides it. This is a big if we are the last people who are known to come here, and by the sounds of it, not many people came here, we could be suspects in a murder from the mundane police.
Then what we need to do is we need to go and see what has happened in the lighthouse building, wherever it was they were living. Has there been a fight? Because it could be we've got 2 bodies to dispose of.
No details for the boat, so I don't really care. I didn't give my details for the boat.
No, but none of us gave details, but they wouldn't.
Description.
They'll still see us. We didn't hide our faces or anything.
We'll be miles away. Miles away.
Yeah, I question is how are people going to?
Right. I think we need. I think we need to go and find out what's happened. Let's find out that first.
We'll be at Renwick's by teleport soon from Dell, so I can't see the problem.
Okay.
Some group of unknown strangers that people are probably not going to remember. Rough description that they'll never be around here again.
But the boat was hired by Renwick, so he's
no,
going to come back to
the boat was hired by his mate, the mate who lives on the mainland.
Well, I'm saying it's traceable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go and look at what's happened. See if we can find out what's happened to this poor woman's husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye on my phone every now and again, see if we get better signal, because I want to call Renwick. And actually, I'll turn to everyone and go, we need to call Renwick as soon as possible to let him know that we're back. Yeah. So keep an eye on your phone, see when you get a signal, and then whilst we are heading towards the lighthouse. How far was the lighthouse from us?
20 minutes.
Well,
Ian, did Daryl share anything about the fits? Because I haven't turned my phone on yet. Has anyone shared that it's 8 days?
I would have kept it a secret. I think that's.
Yeah.
I wanted to find out what it was, so as soon as I found out, I would have passed.
Renwick's going to presume we failed.
Very possibly.
But yeah.
Although he was aware that if we didn't do it in time, that it might be a month before we returned.
Okay, true. Very true. Very true. Okay, so
it's 20 minutes away. Let's
go and have a look.
Yeah. And how long ago do you think this body was killed? She was killed? Any ideas?
Is it no more than a week or something?
No more than a week.
Yeah, so I described it as no more than a week. I think to Liam. No, I can't remember.
No, to me initially. To me, before I then did a medicine check and found out nothing more than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So no more than a week.
I'm entirely sure she's dead.
But it's not fresh. Okay.
She's, like that's a
request. Okay.
Check that is. Yeah. You make your way up the stone steps and start walking across closer to the light tower. The light tower is on. You don't know whether that indicates anything, but
it's probably automated.
You make your way. It's very likely automated nowadays. Doesn't, in fact, having anybody here on the island doesn't. It's not necessarily really, but obviously they were here for other purposes. You make your way across. You're not encountered by anything. You don't. Your phones still are struggling with the signal. And as you approach the lighthouse, whoever wants to make me an investigation or perception checks, depending on whether you're keeping an eye out for danger or investigating what's happened. So perception for danger, investigation for investigation.
Perception for me.
Perception.
Investigation for now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Go for +10.
Nice. Okay. You keep those keeping an eye out on the horizon, on the bits that they can see. The only movement that you see, obviously, apart from the waves, again, the tide is a fair bit out, so that they're not like crashing against the rocks. But you do see like the scuttling of puffins sort of scuttling around, trying to stay away from these moving people on the island. They're usually left alone, so they're not used to contact so much. Daryl, you head inside this lighthouse, and on the inside, it's got like almost like a stone barn. Living space just sort of like connected to the base. The door is open, and immediately you can see that it's been a struggle. I think Liam, you're outside, but you can smell dried, dead, blood, without having to go inside. Daryl, you see it; it's everywhere. It doesn't take you long to find the body of an older gentleman in a pretty bad way. Very, very dead, but obviously quite horrifically attacked. In the middle of this, but looks like he was heading towards the stove. Nothing's on. There's a couple of like lamps on. That maybe he'd been attacked during the night, and their lamp was on.
Oil lamps?
No, like a night light type, sort of like a bedside lamp. I'm thinking, electric, and yeah, the scene is pretty grisly. You do a check of everything. Again, you see these claw marks, probably from the same creature, you imagine. You've kind of put together that this is similar to these creatures the djinn that had attacked you first time. And there's not much else here that I can tell you. A very quick investigation of just some paperwork that's lying around. The last entry into this diary was about 6 days ago. And they do also have a record here of people sort of coming to the island, usually for things like shipments or sort of like bringing over things they need to, carry on, like groceries and whatnot. And it is noted that there was your party. Doesn't mention anyone by names. It says there's a code that says, chartered by somebody. Obviously, that leads to, if anybody was going to investigate, it would likely lead back to that mage that hired you. It's all written. There's no laptop here or anything like that. There's no internet. You're still struggling with signal. There's no Wi-Fi. And there is one of the last entries is that somebody had chartered the boat here, a single male person. And that's the last entry that you see. As you guys go outside, you guys who are outside,
Baron, I was heading inside fairly soon, but okay, what did I say before?
Before you even get there.
As you're walking, I'm walking out with the log under my arm, the logbook,
and a fire in a hand.
Right, what?
Baron and Raphy, I think you both see the docks where your boat would be. There's still a boat there. And you can just see it bobbing over the tops of, because you can just see the edge of the docks.
Not the one that brought us.
You have to go down it. Yeah. Looks similar. You'd have to get closer. It's quite dark at the moment.
Okay.
Right. We need to just check there's no one on that. So need to check there's no one on that boat. Then, Daryl, have you touched anything inside?
Only this, and I'll pick up the. I'll show the ledger I've got.
I start putting on a pair of gloves. I assume you've relayed the thing about dead bodies inside and the dead body inside.
Yeah.
So I think we need to clean this up a bit. Can you magically clean things?
The ultimate cleansing. I could burn it. I buy bleach at the supermarket, same as everyone else.
Okay, so I have a memory of a wizard one time who.
Yeah, there are spells, but not in my arsenal.
Okay. So.
You got a broom, I can animate objects. I remember a story about that.
Okay.
Could we get the Mages Council to come and clean it up?
I think that's right. They're not going to want the police anywhere near this. So I think we need to make the Mages Council aware of what it is. They knew we were coming. This was a sanctioned visit. So this is
those of you involved with the Mages Council know that they do have cleanup crews. There's not anything that you know of that's been like this for a while, not like a murder scene, but they do tend to, in a situation where the thing was obviously of a magical nature that has attacked these people, they would definitely want to be first on scene.
Would we know though if they're good clean-up crews? We wouldn't know about that they've been out to clean up stuff.
No, this is more of a case of those who have worked with the Mages Council. So Baron, Daryl, probably Liam, to be honest. I think you would know that when certain things happen, because when you're hunting, certain things can go a little bit awry.
What I'm saying, you said nothing like this has happened recently. We might not know.
I see what you mean. Yes. No, if you weren't involved in it, you absolutely would not know.
Exactly. Yeah. That was my point.
Apologies. Yes. You are absolutely correct.
So the question is, should we leave the 2 bodies where they have been found so they can be investigated, or should we move the bodies inside the cave where no one...
Nobody's going to come here. Nobody's going to come here. We'll be at the mansion in but a moment, and then from there, Renwick or whoever can contact the Mages Council, and they'll deal with it. I think.
Ian and Tom, roll me a d20.
Straight d20.
Straight d20.
It's not straight. It's angled.
Okay.
With a piece of paper.
That didn't show up. That's not me. I'll do it on Roll20. I tried it on the.
I'm assuming Liam doesn't have a mobile phone.
Correct.
Baron's not turned his on yet.
You don't need to roll then. Raphy, you get another couple of messages through as you get a single bar flit into life on your signals. This one's from Renee. She's concerned about where you are, and just like, you've gone dark, boss. I'll keep the club running. Please let us know you're safe. Your mother's been here 5 times this week. Give us a ring back as soon as, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another message after that that's from her again about a day later, saying someone came round asking for you. A big guy in a weird uniform. Told him that I don't know where you are. Please let us know that you're safe. And then I think that just a few hundred more from your mother. You get one from your grandmother who doesn't actually know how to use technology. It's a little bit more reasoned, and just like, please let us know you're safe. Your mother's driving me mental. Yeah.
I'm just going to send off a very quick text. One to Renee going, I'm back. Sorry, this took longer than I thought. It was only meant to be for like 3 days. Apologies. Only just got signal. Should be back to the club within next 24 day or 2. I'll keep you updated while I can.
You ping that off and it struggles. It's not going.
It's fine.
Through.
I'm going to send one to Mum as well, because it'll just be hanging there in space.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Okay.
I had no signal where I was. It was last minute holiday.
Cool. You send that off, it hangs in space. So what was that again?
Battery run out on the phone. I got drunk.
Yeah. Put on bender.
Yeah.
Okay.
7-day
bender.
I want to go down to the dock and have a look at the boat.
Okay, you head down.
I'll go with Baron.
Yeah.
I think we'll stay together. I think it's the best bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're probably all travelling as a pack at this point. Very, sensibly. Baron sort of in front, Liam not far behind. You start looking around this docks area. Liam, you immediately again smell this smell of blood, and before you even go inside the boat, you can see that there is a blood trail coming out of it, and it doesn't take much investigation. I'm not going to let you roll get you to roll rather, because it's the same information that you would get from. You've already got the information. Similar situation as the gentleman in the thing. There's a middle-aged man. You do recognise this is the person that sort of brought you over last time. So this seems to be a regular boat that comes to this specific island.
Okay.
And was attacked.
Okay. We need to get the Mages Council involved, but that puts more time pressure on it because there will be people looking for him. There might not be for the other two, but this guy's gone on a journey, and if that log you found is right, Daryl, it's about 6 days ago, and he's not come back.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
I think well, a couple of things jumped to my mind. Renwick's got a lot of questions to answer. Well, if we can narrow this down to those Afrits, what was that all about? Because it stops to feel like coincidence and more like he knew what was going on.
So,
we've already got his word and the word of that apprentice lady that she drops.
Yeah,
that thing. It's coincidence, isn't it? A bit coincidence that it happened the moment we arrived.
Or they knew it was that they knew she might be careless, but he knew more than he was letting on about.
I definitely
what was going on with that, because I just assumed that they could try to find something and disappear to cause whatever chaos it was going to, but it seems to be tracking the quest.
If he's after this liquid, could the whole thing with the Afrit and the whatever they came from also be linked, i.e. another avenue for him, and they're interested in it for that reason, because for why he was after, maybe it's something to them, which is why he got them involved, because they would know how to get it, or something. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's desperate enough to trade with Maids, whether you can trade with a Maid.
I think he certainly seems
whatever they're called,
desperate enough to do anything.
Yeah, I think we need to get to somewhere where we can do some decent communication. And to me, the quickest way to do that is to go back to Renwick's,
string him up, and nail his hands to the wall, question him.
The only other thing before going to Renwick's is, are we able to contact someone in the Mages?
Let's do that. Literally, it will take seconds to get to Renwick's, and we'll have much better communication from there than we are on this island where we're struggling to get any signal.
Okay. My only concern is Renwick's could be a trap and we could arrive in the middle of a trap.
Okay. Alternatively, we could go, it's not quite as certain, but I can take you anywhere.
How about, it's definitely somewhere that you know?
The better I know it, the more likely we are to get there in one piece.
Your house.
Okay.
Aren't all our vehicles at Renwick's?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you either need to go and spring the trap and get your vehicle, or
okay.
I can't magically sell yourself and
just
bring your vehicles along.
Get it over with.
If we go out to
we're
Renwick's,
all going to die soon anyway. So
yeah.
Those things are going to come and get us in our sleep. It's game over, man. Game over. Let's just go.
All right there, Hudson. Calm your tits. Yeah. Right, okay. Sod it. Let's go to Renwick's, expecting an ambush. Ready to kick off if need to. That's going to be the best bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I shall remove my sword Bea from inside my coat and buckle it around my waist, and also get my shield ready as well.
Yeah.
I think we'll all get battle ready. So yeah, I'll draw Summer's Song and start blade singing.
Okay.
I'll put my earplugs in and get me bow drawn.
Start your music.
Yeah.
No. Daryl,
start singing some horrible rock music now.
do you begin this teleportation spell?
Yeah, so you're going back to Renwick, so I'm using teleportation circle. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had chance to memorize that. We already said his teleportation circle leads to the back of his house. It is for the purposes of mage visitors, so that there's a separate entrance for that. And you complete the spell. You all seem to be prepared. You can be prepared with whatever you want to be prepared for. And as far as I'm aware, you're just taking that record book. Is that right?
Was there any log on the boat? Sorry. That mentions us, is what I'm.
I'd say yes, and you've grabbed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this boat is a very simple boat. It's not super techy. There's no hidden compartments or anything like that. It's just a guy. His logs are written as well, and there is a small blue book as the logs in it. Says exactly the same thing as yours did, as the other one did.
5 men and a dog.
Yes, 5 men and a dog. I forgot about that. 5 men and a dog entered the islands, and didn't go back apparently, which is an odd insert. It's a good thing perhaps you've taken them. You step through this circle, and you're all transported away. Again, this feeling of being squeezed and sucked through the time and space is a little bit disconcerting for those who haven't particularly experienced it very often. Hop out the other side, and the mansion is in front of you. You can see the patio windows. There is some light inside, so you can see that there is people at home, as it were. If you want to make me perception checks, if you're going in stealthy, make me stealth checks, or if you're just going to go up and knock, tell me.
I'm going to look around and I'm going to go and knock.
I'm having a look around first and not seeing anything.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
As I know, Raphy and Daryl, your phones start going absolutely mental with text messages.
Yeah, I'll just go. I'll go out with Raphy.
Yeah.
Does technology work in Renwick's house?
You're just outside, but it does technically allow for some, but it's very crackly if you're on the phone. But there is a possibility that you can still receive text messages reasonably well. It's more phone calls that are a little bit interrupted. The more you go inside, the more issues you're going to have. But you're currently just outside the property. But you are, I think there's such a backlog. You're probably going to end up with a couple of, text messages still coming through at the end of the day, I think. So you look around. Everyone, Liam, what did you say that you were doing? You said something about
going
Raphy.
up with Raphy.
With Raphy to knock on the door. Okay, cool. Bea and Daryl, you watch your 6. There's nothing behind you. There's just a dark garden. Whilst Raphy and Liam head to the door and knock. Raphy, you can see immediately there is movement inside as somebody starts to make their way towards the door. It takes, I'd say, a couple of seconds, just as they've clearly not been expecting anybody. And as they come closer to the door, you can see that it's the assistant, Daria. And as she gets closer and sees your face and both of your faces, you see her eyebrows in shock as she sees who it is. And she almost pauses for a second, and then she opens the patio and she goes, You're here. You're here.
Insight check.
Yeah, I was thinking
Maybe.
to do that.
Yep,
I was
maybe
going to ask her something first. Are you surprised to see us? Right.
Yes.
Face says it all.
Yeah.
The face literally says it all.
I wanted
Okay.
to say something different.
Yeah. You see surprise. Obviously, the first thing you see is surprise. Let me just check something.
2 secret weapons. Surprise.
See what else you kind of read from this woman. Oh no, sorry. I didn't have her open. Okay. Yeah, Raphy, you sort of look at this woman. She's immediately surprised that you're here. There is confusion. There's a little bit of concern. I think there's I think there's a bit of concern there. But more surprise. I think the main thing here is surprise. Other than that, she like, you're not reading too much else from her.
I don't trust her.
You trust anyone? They're all out to kill you, including the puffins.
That is in my background description. Doesn't
That's fair. Yeah. So
I don't even
she says, "How did you? We weren't expecting you. Well, I don't think we were expecting you back at all. After you didn't come back, and then now, how did you get out? How did you?"
That can be explained later.
We went in. Why? Didn't you think we could get out for some reason?
Because if you miss the opportunity then you'd be there for another month. This is either too late or too early, and I don't know what's happened. Look,
timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that to me later.
TV.
Do you have?
Doctor Who?
Did you
my God.
Did you get the water?
Yes. Yes, we got what we went for. Is the lady still alive?
Barely.
Okay.
You need to hurry. And she starts to head up towards the stairs.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my one bottle, turn to everyone and go, "This one only." Okay.
She's sort of going up the stairs. I just want you to make me a stealth check for that comment. Because she's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she carries on up the stairs. And she leads you to the bedroom. Just before you even get there, Lord Renwick, having heard people coming up the stairs, he's come out of the bedroom, and again you see shock on his face. If anybody wants to do insight checks, they can.
Yep.
New fresh insight checks.
Dodgy fucker.
How many times can I roll a 9 tonight?
Jesus Christ, Liam. Jesus Christ. Okay. You see that he is, first thing obviously is surprise. There is a layer of pre-existing grief on his face as he's come out of this room. There was a tinge of annoyance where he didn't realize it was going to be you guys. that people were just storming up the stairs in his house. The surprise turned into hope, and he's immediately changes into, have you got it? Have you got the water?
Hold up the bottle.
I fear that she doesn't have very long left.
I'll pass it. I'll give the bottle to him.
Thank you so much. Liam, you're reading genuineness from this guy. He is genuinely, sincerely thankful. He's on the verge of tears. He almost can't control. He's shaking almost. And he says, "I need to prepare this. I don't think we've got much more time left." So he heads off into the bedroom. And he
With
says,
that bottle, don't drop it.
you don't really get an answer from that. He just he's got one track mind now.
His hands are
You
shaking,
can
aren't they,
see
so-
in the room there seems to be a lot more
Gin.
things that would relate to caring for somebody who's in bed. There's a lot more stuff around. The bowls of fluids that they've obviously been spoon feeding her. You can just see the feet of her in the bed. The door's sort of in the way.
Is there a machine that goes ping?
No machines. You probably don't think that any machines would work in this house.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seems to be single-minded working on this. Daria sort of standing outside, looking quite nervous, and she sort of goes, "Why don't you come down to the lounge? Potentially some things that need to be passed between us information-wise." And she starts to lead you back downstairs for the moment. Or actually, there's a seating area thing in the next room, I believe, if I remember.
Is there a chair in Lady Renwick's bedroom that I can ask Rembrandt to go and perch on?
Yeah, Remy's been in there before and perched on something, so I'd say there's.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask him to go. Just go and perch and keep an eye.
Oh no, you can't. Remy's dead. Oh no, wait, did you bring it back last night? In the mansion?
I would have done,
in
yes.
the lodge.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's up to you. I didn't say that. I did think about it, to be honest.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'm thinking time wibbly wobbly. I thought it was right now, but it's not. It's been a night, so that's absolutely fine. You could have done that. He flies in, perches, watches silently.
On Lord Renwick's wife's nose.
Yeah, he perches on the head, really just in the way.
It's eyeball.
Yeah. He's not a crow, okay? And you presumably head on after Daria.
Just to check, is Baron in this group or is Baron outside still?
Yes. Oh no, I'm assuming that you've followed in same as.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Just want to double check. Thank you.
You'll sort of make your way into this lounge area, and she's sort of quite nervously, eyes flicking towards the door, waiting to hear what's happened. And she goes, "So, what happened? We've had some people here from the Mages Council looking for you. Obviously, we said about the mission that you were on, and that you might be gone for a little bit longer, or potentially even, well, a couple of people were quite upset about it."
Who from the Mages Council is looking for us?
Mr. Sergeant Clemens.
Nobody I know would have been missing me, so.
Well, actually, they asked after mostly all of you. There was another gentleman here from the Mages Council looking for the dog. So she looks at Hendrix. Shona, I don't know if you know him. Hendrix goes, and that's all I say on that.
Start wagging.
Yeah, no.
Does it go
In fact,
down?
you hear a grumble.
Right.
No, it just
goes
sort of
right
like you
down
just hear
to the ground between his
fucking
legs.
Yeah. No. There's been some developments in the mages circles. There's been a lockdown of fairy, nobody in or out. There's also been some issues with the ley lines. I'm not sure quite what's happened. Liam, with that 28 insight. She's wringing her hands and she's nervous. But there's something else there. There is something that she is hiding. She is, you immediately notice, a very, very proficient liar. You don't think you would have been able to spot this had you not rolled a nat 20. Her hands are smooth, pale, like her skin. When you last saw her, and she'd picked up the urn, her hands had been burnt quite badly. They were likely to be very scarred.
Permanently.
And she's not telling the truth. She seems interested far too eagerly in what happened to you guys over telling you what has happened here.
Knew I didn't trust her. So she's holding something back and she's trying to get information out of us rather than say what's happened here. I'm going to say, why don't you tell us what's been going on first?
Well, Lady Renwick still very ill. She just suddenly started to go downhill rather rapidly after you left, actually.
Did she now?
Lord Renwick didn't know if she was going to survive the month. He'd resigned himself, I think. I've been making sure that she's as healthy as I could make her. There's been some issues with the fiends. London's had a lockdown of fiends in it. There's been some issues there.
You sure you don't know anything more about that? I'm looking at her suspiciously.
Make me. Are you trying to deceive your suspicion of her, or are you being outwardly suspicious?
I'm trying to.
Sorry, I did not mean to pull up the turn order. That's not what I was supposed to do. Honest.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm going to roll initiative.
Trying to build on my insights previously and see if I can get her to slip up and reveal something more.
Make me a what would this be? I just think this is going to be a deception check. This is you deceiving her into getting what information that you want. Yeah, she's going to do an insight check.
Probably not going to happen unless I roll another nat 20. Oh, there we go. Nat 20 followed by a fumble. Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
That is such a shame. She rolled so poorly and yet she still succeeded. Okay.
Fucking stupid game.
She says, I don't know what you mean. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you all. We didn't expect you to come now. We thought this was going to be at the end of the month. You were going to be too late. I don't have a great deal of access to the rest of the mages' world, as it were. I don't. Are you trying to insinuate something?
Oi, that I am, possibly. Your hands are looking rather well, considering they were burnt last time we saw you.
She looks at them and she goes, well, the master of the house is a cleric. He does heal people.
Insight check. Because why not?
If you wanna.
Can you remind me? So we knew he was a cleric. Did we know what she was by profession?
No.
So he suggested that she was brought on as an assistant and as a part-time nurse from the abbey of God. I think it was St. Swithin's, which is the place where
Yeah, I'm remembering this now.
all of the clerics are taught their, regardless of their faith, and their actual god that gives them their powers. So Renwick used to be a teacher there, and he said that he or she insinuated that he had employed her from that. You did see that she'd healed herself when the
acid
Ifrit had attacked. Sorry, my brain went full fog there. When the Ifrit had attacked, was attacked by the huge Marid in the center. She had huge claw marks across her, and she'd healed herself. But she'd also got horribly burnt hands from where she'd touched this. It sizzled her hands. He did heal her hands to the point where they were no longer red and painful. They were burned, and they were like marked. Raphy, your insight, you're now finding it very difficult to read this woman. You can't tell if she's lying.
There's no subtle way of doing what I want to do.
Where are we sat? Sorry.
So I'll bring you to the
actually
the battle map.
The battle map.
Yeah.
Can everybody see that, or are you dark?
It's all dark.
It's all dark. God damn it! Let's turn off dynamic lighting. How about now?
Yes.
That's the museum.
Yeah, that's not the right
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Let's try that one. Is it dark?
There we go. No, we can see.
No, okay, cool. Right, there we go. Okay, so let's move you guys to where you would be, which was here.
I'm assuming you can remove the dead bodies.
Rembrandt.
B.
Yeah.
I've just realised something I would have done earlier than now, but I will do it now. I'm going to cast a zone of truth and centre it on her.
Yeah. Let me.
That is obvious
now because
it is obvious.
It's very obvious.
But I'm being quite.
But she's clearly aware.
You can do it now by absolutely, but you can't retroactively do that.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. You wasn't after retroing. I was just saying that I meant to do it, and I will do it now.
So where are we?
Yeah. So can you see yourselves on the second floor here?
Yep.
So Rembrandt is where he was before. And you guys are in here. You can place yourself where you like. I think Daria's just going to be where she is. Are these on the layer? I can't remember. Can you see the weird Marids that are on here?
I can see two up top.
They're on the
crossed out. Yeah.
Two up here.
Okay. Right. I need to remove those. That's what I need to remove. That's the ones. Let's get rid of those.
That one there's gone, and that one there's gone.
I've done that now. Yeah.
Two that were here have gone. There's nothing here now.
I think that's everything. There is no Marids or Ifrit here, just so that in case you're seeing something and think, haha, they're not there. Yeah. You so you're questioning her, and you go to cast this zone of truth. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. She what does she have to do? She have to make a wisdom save.
Charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. Okay.
Does it affect all of us as well?
No,
Yes, it will.
yes.
Unfortunately, you do not get to choose.
We need to make a charisma save then.
So you know whether the magic has failed on her or not.
Yes, you do. And did you put the spell in there? Yeah. You create a magical zone. It is a verbal and somatic component, so she will see you doing it.
And she also knows, it says an affected creature is aware of the spell further down.
Just remember, you've got a +3 bonus from me, or 4 if
Cadman's around.
Yeah. Mind you, based on where, I don't know if you want to move people around, but based on where all of you are in Cadman's.
Yeah.
It's not going to help me either way.
What's your spell DC?
16.
16.
Oh, so I failed as well.
She does succeed. So it's failed on her, unfortunately. But you can tell that.
And I know that she's failed.
You know that she's failed that. And she goes, "What is happening? What is happening? Are you?"
There's been some very strange.
That something's happened?
There's been some very strange goings on. We've been away for 8 days. We've come back. There's been some very strange goings on, and you have some explaining to do.
And you haven't been telling us the truth. You've been hiding something, and you're still hiding something now. And I wanted to find out what it was.
What is it that I'm supposed to have hidden from you?
If I knew that, I wouldn't need to cast a spell, would I? You dozy cow.
What's your connection to the married and the retreats? We don't think you'll be particularly honest about that, either yours or Renwick's. They've got more to do with this than some accidental smashing of a vase while we was here last time.
There's
insight, looking at her when she's answering as well.
Yeah, sure. Roll me an insight check. I don't think I need to answer any of your questions. If you want to ask questions, then you do so at the behest of the Mages Guild. I don't have any reason to answer any questions from you. What's your insight check? Oh, okay. 22. Let's make another roll for it. Yeah. She okay. She says, "Look, I think this is all getting a little bit out of hand." And as she says hand, she you see that there is a fizzing aura around her. You recognize the spell Misty Step.
Counterspell.
And counterspell, yep. Do me a counterspell. Tell me what level you're doing it at.
7.
7?
I didn't say 7.
I said 7.
Oh,
it's a 5th level spell, isn't it? No, it's a 4th level spell.
Misty Step?
No, counterspell.
First, isn't it?
It's a 3rd level spell.
I'm going to do it 5th level.
5th level. Okay. You will need to roll for me.
Ooh, okie dokie.
Told you she was dodgy. She'll run away now. Only somebody who's dodgy runs away. If they're not dodgy,
Only the guilty runs away. Sorry, what level did you say? Sorry,
5th.
Sorry, you don't need to roll.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to roll. It immediately fizzles away. And she says, "All right."
I'm going to take physical hold of her.
Okay.
I wish to grapple with an athletics check.
Roll initiative. I think.
Well, she's had her action to try and cast a spell.
that table up.
No.
She did, but
It's just
she rolled a nat 20 to deceive to do the surprise.
Okay.
But obviously, we can now go in order of initiative.
Oh, I didn't click on my
We've got to roll
thing.
put our tokens on, haven't we?
Oh, I didn't
Already
roll.
there.
Tokens are on there.
Looks
Are they?
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
Right there.
There we go.
Can you see them? Or?
Yeah, I was on the wrong floor. Shut up.
yeah. I forgot to click my token B. Could you put me on at 17.18?
I can't click my token.
Dumbass.
Can you put me on at 17, please?
Can't select my token.
Absolutely. Once. Can you not? Why?
No, I
I'm
can't.
gonna delete you then, and then bring you back on.
Hmm.
I know why it is. It's because we flipped your token. Well, no, actually, that shouldn't matter.
No, it's remembering
better.
the last one.
That's better. You got it.
Yep.
Sorry. If I add you guys in, you can add your own initiatives.
Oh, it rolled off a 15. Gutted.
Turn.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Add turn. Right, can you see yourselves on there? I'm going to add Hendrix and Cadman.
Baron, what's your dex?
Not as high as 18.
Okay.
14.
Just got to check something.
Oh, you had a 20 dex.
Sorry?
What's that?
I thought you had a 20 dex.
Who?
I think that's...
Yeah. Oh, is that Daryl?
No, Daryl's got 18.
Somebody had a 20 dex, I thought.
It might have been Hendrix.
Sure, Andy. Have you got a 20 in something, Andy?
Yeah.
Right.
Strength.
Ah, there we go.
Hence why I want to grapple.
Very quickly doing something because I didn't have her particularly prepared, but it's fine. I'm using a dummy account, a different thingy just to roll for her. It's the same stats, but it was weird. Come on. My computer's being slow again.
Really?
Yeah, it just goes in spots. And let's go with that. So, here's what's happened. Let's make sure that my rolls are on the phone. Just going to do a test roll. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. I need to make sure that it's not showing. Because reasons. Raisins!
Very, very tasty
How do I-
things.
Raisins to be
How do
cheerful. Part
Oh, there it
three.
is. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And double check. Can't see that roll now. Cool. Yeah,
Yep.
you can't. So, ignore the name on that because obviously I'm using a different thingy. That's not a clue to anything. Just want to lead you down a different rabbit hole.
Not going over to Ravenloft then. Good.
Yeah, going to Ravenloft.
Nah.
Different character. So, she has to roll initiative as well. That'd be good. And then put you all in order. Descending. So, Raphy, you get to go first. She's got her hands up, sort of like had tried to cast this spell silently. Didn't seem to get it off. That spell, Misty Step, has several components to it, none of which you saw. Okay, cool. Carry on.
I'm going to hold action.
Okay.
If she, trigger
Sorry, it
is,
only has verbal components.
Yeah. If she tries to leave, I'll try and grapple her, but I don't want to grapple her yet. So if she tries to
Perfect.
leave, I'll
Bang
grab her.
bang.
You will hold. What's that?
Bang bang. Baron's already grabbing her. We'll all have a go.
Calm
No.
yourself, Baron.
Highly inappropriate there, Kenneth.
Highly.
Highly
Kenneth.
inappropriate.
Kenneth was it?
Yes, Kenneth.
Oh dear.
You know you fucked up when he used your full name.
Andrew's called me Kenneth.
Yes.
True. All right, that's enough.
Perfect.
Right, I shall attempt to grapple her,
Mission
please.
accomplished.
Yep, make me a strength or
It's
is it
athletic.
acrobatics or strength?
Athletics.
It's athletics. Sorry, I knew what I meant. And she has to make a contested athletics or acrobatics.
Yes,
Isn't it?
she gets to choose.
Okay. Right, you grapple her. She's not very strong. And she's
Baron is
using
very
her
strong.
dexterity to try and wriggle away, like move herself away from you. And
just to be clear, I think I had my shield out and my sword was still sheathed. I think I've had to probably drop my shield to. It seems wrong to be holding a shield while trying to grapple someone, so I've probably dropped my shield. Yeah.
Yes, you would have had to. So yeah.
And I should just grapple her, and then attempt to hold her still. Can I clamp a hand across her mouth to stop her using verbal components on spells?
We do want her to speak, though, don't we?
Yeah.
I think you could probably do that. She would have to, within her acrobatics checks to get away from you. She would then be free to try and talk. So on her turn, essentially. So if that's your go, it's Daryl's go.
No, I was going to just step back.
Mhm.
And just for an action, he's going to look through Remy's eyes to see what's happening in the other room. Mainly to see if, I know it's been very quick, but
Yeah,
it's
but
Lord Renwick
is the time.
is going on.
You see Lord Renwick hurriedly concocting this kind of spell that he'd obviously been working on. He's got several books around him. He's working on this water. Make me an insight check just to see what the nature of what he is doing. Yeah, he's trying to help his wife.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to be aware of anything that's happening outside.
Okay, I'll drop back to. I'm not going to stay looking for Remy. I'm just going to drop back to Del and RBB.
Okay.
I'll start No, I won't start blazing.
Okay. It's Daria's go. And she starts to struggle to get away. And she is going to check for a second.
Mentally, I'm envisaging this like I've got one arm looped around, holding both her arms behind her back, and my free arm round across her mouth.
Yes. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So she glares across at the rest of you, and she's going to attempt to cast another spell. Again, not needing to use these verbal components. If anybody wants to interrupt, say so now. If not, it's going to take effect.
I said mine was a move if she was tried to escape, so it depends on what the spell is. So. But I don't know what the spell is, so
that's very true. And there's no verbal components for you to tell.
So I can't do anything.
I'm going to counter spell, but not at that level.
Okay.
It said it's a 3rd level spell, didn't we? I'm just going to do it at 3rd level.
At 3rd level?
Yeah.
You'll have to make me a roll.
Right, okay. What is the roll? Is it?
I believe you have to counterspell at 10 plus the spell's level. Is that right?
Right, on the straight D20, I don't. There's no.
No, no. It's a. That's it.
You use your intelligence modifier.
Using my spellcast ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ability, but not. You don't get your
proficiency.
You don't get your proficiency in there, do you?
It is spell 4th level higher. Make an ability check using your spellcast ability. So it's my intelligence.
Yeah.
So
just
an intelligence
straight intelligence check. Yeah.
So it's there you go. Fuck's sake.
Okay. She glares at you all, and you recognise in her eyes that she is concentrating on just about to make a spell. You fling out this counter spell, but this time she's ready for you, and she does it just too quickly. She disappears out of your arms, and just take her to the edge for a moment. And I need everybody to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Bear in mind, you lot have all got. I don't, but you've all got +4 bonus from Cadman.
Yes.
Constitution.
So, yes, everybody except thingy. It's Constitution. I think it was said.
Oh,
yes.
Not going to help me.
Sorry, it's within 10 foot of her. I apologise. So I think Daryl's. Oh no, you're all in it. Still 10 foot, I'm afraid.
Can't roll above 10 tonight.
Okay. Everyone fails. Oh, let's let me.
Bear in mind, Raphy's is actually 21.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. The bonuses. Apologies. You save. I need to roll for the other two. I need to. Sorry, I've got several tabs open, and we all know how I dislike that. Let's Constitution save for this is for Cadman. That's automatically added to his thingy, so that's 26 he saves. So he doesn't.
We're not seeing your rolls for him.
Oh, okay, right. It's just automatically blanket done. So he's got a 26 on that. He saved. Hendrix gets a 9, but obviously even with the additional
4
from thingy, still fails. Raphy and Cadman, you take half of this, so you take 7 points of thunder damage. Everyone else takes 14. as a huge boom echoes throughout there, like the windows rattle, and she's disappeared.
That's from the step, isn't it?
Yes. So
No,
if
she would have
you
been.
make me an Arcana check,
Yeah,
you can. For those of you that would have reasonable knowledge of this spell, you can figure out what that was and potentially what that might mean.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have figured out what. Even before that roll, I was going to say I wouldn't have figured out that's a spell to move. So.
Okay. Yep.
Have you done the damage on Hendrix and Cadman?
I have not. So Cadman's is only 7. Take away from that. So, maths. There we go. It's minor really, but that didn't update. Oh, because I've got numlock on. Annoying.
Interestingly, my token is displaying me at full health, but when I click on it, it's got the right number of hit points. So roll 20 doing something funny.
It may just be that.
Damn it, roll 20. Okay. You did Daryl, Arcana, as somebody who's probably the most likely to have known this anyway, you know that this is Thunderstep, you know what the spell does, and from that information you can act. We're going to remain in initiative for the moment until I say otherwise. So the spell goes off. She seems to have disappeared. That's going to be it for her.
She's
disappeared.
Yeah. Are the doors all shut to this room?
They're. Let me see the. Hang on. Let me just see the wording of the spell a second, because I believe it's. Okay. Yes, I see what you're getting at. And some of the rooms are open, some of them are not. So I'm going to say, obviously, this door would be open. Oh God, that's not a thingy tool. This door would be open. I think this door is closed. This door is open. There's a window here. There is. Yeah, I think
there's a
that's
door there
it for the moment. There is the doors. That one's ajar, but not open fully.
Can I shout something? I know it's not my turn.
Yeah.
But
no, absolutely. You can shout something at a turn.
She can only go as far as she can see.
Yep. So.
Where was she? She was here, wasn't she?
She was here.
She was there, was she?
Yeah, because she was right next to Baron. Baron was holding her.
Okay.
And Liam, it is your go.
So who's there? He says you're going to go as far as you can see. This door's open. Which doors are open again? This one's open?
No, this one here is open.
That one's open.
That's ajar. That was closed.
This one's open.
Oh, this one's open.
No, this one's open.
Okay.
This one's open, and there is a window here.
And that one was closed.
Garden.
That was closed, and there's a window there. Okay. I am going to. We're up high, aren't we? How high up are we?
One story.
One story.
I'm going to move to here and look this way and out that window there to see which. I think that's the only way.
A perception check.
She could have gone if she has
sure.
has to view, because from her angle she would have only been able to get into the corner there and we'd still be able to see her. Perception check.
25. You look down here, nothing down there. You look out the window, you see at the end of the garden to the furthest point that she could possibly have seen a figure, dark, ready to run quite far away. So I'm gonna, if we need to, bring another battle map in of just plain garden, depending on what you guys do next. So let's just use a plain page if we need to.
It's 5 to 11 anyway.
Yeah.
So we need.
I think it's a good place
Leave
to
it
stop.
until next week. Perfect place
Yeah.
to stop. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So we'll start at the. I think your.
Have I still got my round to go, or was that my whole action using looking?
I think to be able to search for her in that
was
sort
it,
of capacity,
and
that's
looking
going to
that
be
far
your.
away. Yeah, that was a whole.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a whole action, but you can still use a bonus action, and you can still have the rest of your movement, whatever that may be. So just make a note of it. I think you only moved 5 foot. I think
10 foot.
10 foot. There you go. So you've got whatever movement you have left.
Is she within 90
Plus
feet?
any
She's not,
bonus.
is she? She's further than 90 feet away.
She's exactly 90 foot
50
away.
feet, yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
I know what you're going to do, mate. Do it now.
Yeah.
I'll do it now. Bonus action, hunter's mark on her.
Yeah. Spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well done, Ken.
Perfect.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
That's where we shall leave it. What does the hunter's mark do? Does it tell you just the direction
No,
of the
it's.
person?
Hang on a minute. Let me chuck it into the VTT. Just gives me advantage of wisdom and survival checks to find her.
Okay.
I know if
lasts
she's
for an
alive,
hour.
Like,
Okay,
up
yep.
to an hour, yeah.
Hang on just one moment while I
I
check
thought
something.
it kind of,
That's like locate object or locate person.
yeah.
Have you read the higher levels bit?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. I'll cast it at 4th level.
Well, you might as well do it
No,
third because there's no benefit.
3rd, yeah, I suppose, yeah, 3rd. Yeah, okay.
It works perfectly. You hunters mark this thing, and at the moment, she's
And
there.
that'll be
This
the end.
thing.
This thing, you noticed that, yeah.
This thing.
Thing.
Yeah, I noticed
person,
that as well.
Not creature.
And I will just
person.
take the last so that you can start the next round, the next game on the next person. I've got a few seconds that I can speak, haven't I? I've got 6 words. I say, she's at the end of the garden.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And that's my turnover. And then
Perfect.
we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Things went a direction. I think a suspicious bunch, and
Who, us gamers?
Yeah.
Never.
to be fair, I did anticipate this might happen, so there is a good contingency plan here, but that's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm excited to see where this goes because
Just quickly, when you took her counter off, you've
Yeah.
taken away out the turn order.
she's still on the turn order on mine because I've just taken her to the GM layer. Yeah, she's
Fair
still
enough.
there.
Okay, fair enough.
Like if I brought her back, she's back.
She'll appear back.
She's
That's
between Daryl and.
She had initiative
Liam.
10. Just Cadman and Hendricks need to do their initiatives. And then
I didn't. Oh no. Yeah, no, they are on there. Oh no,
No,
because
they're-
they have to actually roll for it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I will get them to do that, and then we can have them act from that point. They could have been holding an action, same as everybody else.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for joining us. We hope you join us next week. Love to see you there for the thrilling chase that's about to occur.
against the thing.
Or maybe not.
It's the thing.
The thing.
That's
You
very
think-
interesting, calling
yeah.
her a thing. Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what? I'm really looking forward to this arc because a lot of things are going to start making some sense. Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
Bye!
Bye. See you later,
Bye.
folks.
Bye.
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 Bye.